This is the 91 Jetta that's been converted to vegetable oil. Give you a walk around, show you some bad spots. There's some windshield rust area. Obviously the aerial is junk. Ding in this driver's side front fender. See some paint chips around the front, and the bumper is held on with a bungee cord because this bracket is broken inside there. Taking a look, walking around. More windshield rust with a little bit there. Still solid. It's not rusted through. There's no holes, but it's bubbling up. Taking a look at the body. Fuel filler is not rusted out. In good shape. Walking around the back end. Take a look in the trunk. And there's some spare parts. This is the vegetable oil tank with a fuel tank sender and some veg oil in there now. Inside the tank is a heated fuel pickup, and in here are the in-hose fuel lines, and this aluminum line that you see here is the return line, and that's hose on hose. It's a small fuel pump right here that's useful for priming the filter when you're putting a fresh dry filter on, and it goes and runs through the interior, and that allows it to stay warmer. There's some spare parts, and I can detail those more, but coolant hoses and filters, oil filters, air filters, that sort of thing. Bottom side of the trunk lid, and you can see the gasket here. Rust is not too bad. This driver's side door in the rear, a little bit of rust there, and a little bit of rust there. Otherwise, pretty solid. Driver's side, door sills are not rusted out. And we'll take a look inside. This is the gauge console with fuel temperature here, tank fuel gauge, and this is both a pressure and a vacuum gauge, and when you run a clean filter with the fuel pump switch on, you'll see a pressure over on the positive side, and then as the filter starts plugging up, you'll see it go over into the negative side. The switches for the vegetable oil are here. This one switches it from diesel, the source tank, which is when the lights are off, it's all diesel. Turn this on, and I'll turn the key on. So that would be source to the vegetable tank, and that's where the return line, all the diesels have a return line, and that goes back to the vegetable tank that way. And this allows you to purge when you shut down. So when you shut down, you take the source off, and you keep returning the fuel back to the original tank, or back to the vegetable tank, until the lines are purged of the vegetable oil and there's diesel in them. The other switches, you can see, there's more gauges for the engine. There's voltmeter, oil pressure, and engine oil temperature. This is a fuel pump switch, that one I pointed to in the trunk. You might be able to hear it running there. This is a line heater, which I'll show you under the hood, and a filter heater that is run off of 110 volt, it's a 12 volt to 110 volt inverter, and that inverter powers both the fuel filter heater, which is a silicone oil pan heater wrapped around the filter, and it also powers some line heat, which I'll show you. This is a switch that turns on some aspect of the line heat, and we can discuss that more. Radio's missing. Mileage on the dash. And this is a nice feature here. This is a manual glow plug engager. It does come on when you, I don't know if you can see the light right now, the sunlight's really bright, but the automatic timer for the glow plugs works, but you can add extra glow time by just pushing this switch, and it engages a forward solenoid under the hood. And I'll show you that. We'll pop the hood. Okay, this is under the hood. This is the stock diesel fuel filter with some heat tape wrapped around it that can save your butt when it's really cold out and the normal diesel system starts to gel up. This is the vegetable filter. It's wrapped with a silicone oil pan heater that's 110 volt powered. And then this is a silicone cooking sheet wrapped around there for insulation. This is a final filter to, it's kind of a last ditch filter that should any material get through. It's just before the injection pump. The two valves, these are called Pollock valves, and one controls what the source of your fuel tank is, and there's another Pollock valve right there that controls the return tank. This extra heat tape is just wrapped around the lines to try to keep those lines a little bit warmer when you're starting out in winter. The single belt pulley system is just driving the alternator. The AC compressor and the power steering pump are taken off. This is a wonderful system. And you can see otherwise the engine is stock. I did change the timing belt at just a little while ago. See, the engine is fairly dry. It's had some leaks and there's some buildup on there, but overall in pretty nice shape. Very large battery that's put in. And then the glow plug system is this right here. It consists of a starter solenoid and individual fuses for each glow plug, and this is really handy because it allows you to determine if you have a glow plug go out. With an ohm meter you can determine very easily which glow plug is out. So we have a heavy-duty battery cable, and then it breaks out to these 4 individual wires going to the glow plugs, goes through this cable harness and individually to the glow plugs and through the wire here, and it gives a much hotter glow plug start. Helps it start much better in winter. Alright, I'll go over and open the other doors for you. Again, see, it's a pretty nice shape, at least for a Minnesota car. And we'll start it up and take it for a drive.